Digital and consistent giving has never been easier. It's as easy as sending a text from your phone. Simply pull out your phone and text the word GIVE to 605-299-8374. It's as simple as that. Thanks for helping us make a lasting impact in the Black Hills. Digital and consistent giving has never been easier. It's as easy as sending a text from your phone. Simply pull out your phone and text the word GIVE to 605-299-8374. It's as simple as that. Thanks for helping us make a lasting impact in the Black Hills. Here at Fountain Springs, we believe in the next generation. We want you to know that we've made it easy for your kids to engage in a service that meets them at their level. There are 3 easy steps to take to access these services. Step 1, download our app. Launch your preferred app store and search for Fountain Springs Church. Step 2, once you find it, download and open the app. Step 3, on the front page you will see an icon titled Kids Services. Just touch that image and pick the service for your appropriate age group. We have a service designed for preschool kids and a service designed for elementary kids. It's as easy as that. We hope your kids enjoy. Digital and consistent giving has never been easier. It's as easy as sending a text from your phone. Simply pull out your phone and text the word GIVE to 605-299-8374. It's as simple as that. Thanks for helping us make a lasting impact in the Black Hills. Here at Fountain Springs, we believe in the next generation. We want you to know that we've made it easy for your kids to engage in a service that meets them at their level. There are 3 easy steps to take to access these services. Step 1, download our app. Launch your preferred app store and search for Fountain Springs Church. Step 2, once you find it, download and open the app. Step 3, on the front page you will see an icon titled Kids Services. Just touch that image and pick the service for your appropriate age group. We have a service designed for preschool kids and a service designed for elementary kids. It's as easy as that. We hope your kids enjoy. Digital and consistent giving has never been easier. It's as easy as sending a text from your phone. Simply pull out your phone and text the word GIVE to 605-299-8374. It's as simple as that. Thanks for helping us make a lasting impact in the Black Hills.
Hello, I want to welcome you to our church online. At Fountain Springs, we believe that anyone and everyone matters, and our mission is to show people who Jesus is, wherever they are. We have a community of people that are meeting all over the world, watching exactly the same service at the same time, and here's the best part, experiencing God together. So no matter where you are today, no matter what you're walking through in life, hear me, you are not alone. Church is coming to you, and we are excited that you have joined us. As you get ready for our online experience, I just want to walk you through just some quick rundowns of what to expect. So here's what it's going to start off with. It's going to be some amazing music, and then you'll get to hear and we'll share about what God is doing in the life of our church. And then lastly, you'll hear a message from one of our pastors. Now, throughout this next hour, our hope is that you'll encounter God, experience life change, and find community. You may have some preconceived notions about online church, but church gatherings, no matter where they happen, are still about people. To get the full community experience, be sure to participate in our chat section. This is an opportunity for you to build relationships with people here locally and around the world, and you can share your questions, praises, or if you're willing to be vulnerable, your struggles in life. But thank you so much for joining us today, and we are all better when we live life together.
Honey, come on. Easter service is starting.
Good morning, everyone. He's risen. These are the questions that I want us to consider this
What?
morning. Look at this passage in Matthew's Gospel.
Hello, Fountain Springs. Hey, welcome to Easter. And I'm Pastor Chris, and I couldn't be more excited to be with each and every one of you. Even with all that's going on, I believe that God is going to do big things. Speaking of big things, the kids ministry has been cooking some things up over the last couple weeks, and my girls have loved engaging it each and every week. But this week, there's something special. I would encourage you to go over to kids.fs.church and check it out. They have been working hard to make something engaging for your kids, and I love it, and I'm looking forward to hearing how it goes for them. Listen, it might even give them an opportunity to experience what they've been missing with their friends and the leaders that they get to spend time with each week. Speaking of each week we get to dive into something, and next week is no exception. We're gonna dive into a new series called Made for This. And we're gonna look at 6 ways that God helps us engage life and to be intentional. Because we believe that God doesn't just want us to survive in this current situation, He wants us to thrive. And I look forward to walking those 6 things out and seeing how God can work in each and every one of our lives. We don't want you to miss it, so we hope you'll tune in to it. Well, speaking of tuning in, you're here right now, and it's Easter. And we believe that God is going to meet us. So whether it's your first time with us at Fountain Springs or you've made Fountain Springs Church your home, we're excited and believing that today could be a day where God meets you right where you're at. As a staff, we've been praying for you. We've been praying for our region and our country, believing that God is going to walk us through this. But right now, in this moment, I hope that you'll take some time, invite Him in, and that we'll just have a great time together. Hey, listen, happy Easter, and it's great being with you.
Laid prostrate in the belly of the earth, the body of Jesus Christ is frozen in time. Darkness hovers over the land, ready to pounce. The Son of God is dead. The evidence of His crucifixion He wore on His hands and His feet, lifeless and cold, and death shuddered in nervous laughter as the dawn of the third day approached. Nature's mouth seemed muted. Creation held its breath. Would the Son of God rise with the morning or stay silent under the weight of death? Would hell forever be exalted, its endless appetite ravaging the earth? Would the people of the nations be lost forever in this hopeless sea of chaos and hurt? The first rays of morning began to melt the deep black of the night before, and the universe waited. The light began to grow like the slow opening of spring's first blossom, and the earth was on the edge of their seat. Finally, the day arrived and revealed the mystery. The stone had been rolled away. His body was not there. The labor of love is finished. There's healing in the air. The tomb was empty. The grave would go hungry. The power of hell toppled by victory, overwhelmed by heaven's symphony. Darkness stumbled as it fled. Creation shouted. Nature applauded. The earth and sky sang songs of triumph. And from deep inside this empty tomb came this great freedom proclamation. Jesus Christ has overcome. The final blow, the battle won, chains be broken, sins forgiven. He is not dead. He's risen.
Well, hey guys, welcome to Fountain Springs and happy Easter. We're so glad you're here with us and from wherever you're joining us today. Let's sing a few songs about what Jesus has done in our lives. See the tomb where he laid, see the stone roll away. He is risen, he's alive. See his hands, see his feet, touch his scars and believe. He is risen, he's alive. Oh, he's alive.
And then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the old heaven and the old earth had disappeared, and the sea was also gone. And I saw the holy city, a new Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven like a bride beautifully dressed for her husband. And I heard a loud shout from the throne saying, "Look, God's home is now among his people. He will live with them and they will be his people. God himself will be with them. He will wipe every tear from their eyes, and there will be no more death or sorrow or crying or pain. All these things are gone forever." And the one sitting on the throne said, "Look, I am making everything new." And then he said to me, "Write this down, for what I tell you is trustworthy and true. Do not be afraid. I am the first and the last. I am the living one. I died, but look, I'm alive forever and ever, and I hold the keys of death and the grave."
Jesus bled and died for me. I see his wounds, his hands, his feet, my Savior on that cursed tree. His body bound and drenched in tears, they laid him down in Joseph's tomb, the entrance sealed by heavy stone. Messiah still and all alone. Oh, praise the name of the Lord our God. Oh, praise his name forevermore. For endless days we will sing your praise. Oh Lord our God. Then on the third and break of dawn, the Son of Heaven rose again. Oh, tremble death, where is your sting? The angels roar for Christ the King. Oh, praise the name of the Lord our God. Oh, praise his name forevermore. For endless days we will sing your praise. Oh Lord our God. We shall return in robes of white. The blazing sun shall pierce the night, and I will rise among the saints, my gaze transfixed on Jesus' face. Oh, praise the name of the Lord our God. Oh, praise his name forevermore. For endless days we will sing your praise. Oh Lord our God. whisper. When the darkness falls, it won't prevail. 'Cause the God I serve knows only how to triumph. My God will never fail. No, my God will never fail. I'm gonna see victory. I'm gonna see victory. The battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see victory. I'm gonna see victory. The battle belongs to you, Lord.
There's power in the mighty name of Jesus. Every war he wages, he will win. I'm not backing down from any giant. I know how this story ends. Yes, I know how this story ends.
I'm gonna see victory. I'm gonna see victory. The battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see victory. I'm gonna see victory. The battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see victory. I'm gonna see victory. The battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see victory. I'm gonna see victory. The battle belongs to you, Lord. Whatever you're going through today, know that Jesus has overcome. Let's sing this out. You take what the enemy meant for evil, and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil, and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil, and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil, and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil, and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil, and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. I'm gonna see victory. I'm gonna see victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see victory. I'm gonna see victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see victory. I'm gonna see victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. such an amazing truth that we can sing together. And that's what Easter is all about, how God can take what the enemy meant for evil and turn it into good. Well, thank you guys so much for singing with us.
Here at Fountain Springs, we believe in the next generation. We want you to know that we've made it easy for your kids to engage in a service that meets them at their level. There are 3 easy steps to take to access these services. Step 1, download our app, launch your preferred app store, and search for Fountain Springs Church. Step 2, once you find it, download and open the app. Step 3, on the front page you will see an icon titled Kids Services. Just touch that image and pick the service for your appropriate age group. We have a service designed for preschool kids and a service designed for elementary kids. It's as easy as that. We hope your kids enjoy.
Hello, I'm Taylor, and may I say Happy Easter. At this point in our service, we would love for you to join us in worship through giving. Today, we celebrate the greatness of God's love put on display in the death and the resurrection of Jesus. Jesus gave his life for us, and we are called to give our lives for others. One of the most important ways that we do that is through generosity. When we are generous, we reveal the goodness of God. We place our trust in him as our provider, and we partner with God in his mission to make all things new in the Black Hills and around the world. So this Easter, will you partner with us? Giving is fast, simple, and secure. Just go to give.fs.church, click the Give button at the top of the page, or scroll down to see an easy list of ways to give. Thanks for making a difference and helping people experience the love of Jesus with your generosity.
Looking back on it now, I realize everything was in darkness. And there was a path underneath all that dirt. I just needed to sweep it off. Before going to Fountain Springs Church, I found myself making decisions that probably weren't the right decisions. I found myself, whether I was in a manner of being short-tempered or in a manner of being not depressed but desperate for answers. It didn't work out great. It didn't, long story short, it didn't work out. When I was young, I had, my parents to do everything for me, so I was, I basically just kind of went off of their guidance and all that whatnot. When I became of age and started having my own children, I kind of always felt like, even though I was supposed to be the one taking the reins, that I just wasn't in complete control. I felt a lot of times that I needed I needed some other guidance, or I felt a lot of times that, I might not be making the right decisions. I know there are many times that I didn't make the right decision, and I thought I could do it all myself. I was asking myself for guidance, and I was asking myself, what the right thing to do was. I'd come to realize that I was talking to God, that I was reaching out to God, and, that essentially I always felt, and I feel like now, that he never gave up on me, that he was always there, obviously. I don't know what happened. I cannot tell you what clicked, but I can tell you that on February 24th, 2019, I woke up, I got my 2-year-old dressed, I told my son and his cousin to get dressed, and I said, we're going to church. We'd never been, obviously. I'd never been, and because of how I was raised, I didn't bring my son to church. So we went, and I can tell you that the day that I went, for one, from the guy that was sitting there with the orange tipped flashlight telling me where to park, to the people holding the door, to the people that were working with the kids, to the ushers, all the way to the pastor who I'm sure wrote that sermon for me that day, I had never felt more welcome. not even with my family who I love at Thanksgiving. I felt so welcome there. The way that the pastor spoke during that time, I was wondering why everyone else was there since he'd written that, that service just for me. So. It was alive and it was warm. I feel like the one reason we all feel so close to each story is because we can relate. And just being able to talk to him, when I'm having a breakdown, I get so much peace in just asking him for that peace. I really suffered from anger, and it caused a lot of waves in my life. And so being able to turn everything over to God and being able to not have the worry, that's a good thing. So I was able to, let go and let God.
Happy Easter, a happy Resurrection Day, whatever title you like to use. It is this moment that millions of people are gathering all over the globe, not gathering like we used to or like we have been, but gathering nonetheless, because Easter is one of the most special moments to ever put your brain on, your heart on. This is a big deal. And I know many of us are like, well, yeah, because like churches and religious people gather together and this is what we do. No, there is so much meaning in this moment that you've got to extract it and plug it right into your soul. So let me set the stage. If you're new to what was going on Easter, Jesus, the center, the main character, he's killed. He's put on a cross, he's crucified, and he dies. And they take his body and put his body in a tomb. Now, they did some abnormal things. They were afraid, the Romans and the Jewish leaders were afraid that his body would be stolen or somebody would do something they shouldn't do. So they put guards in front of the tomb along with this giant stone that no one could get through. And so they guarded this tomb. And so 3 days later, after what's called the Sabbath, these two women went to the tomb. They were bringing burial spices to put on the body because that was a part of their ritual. It's what they did. And so they were getting ready to go, and they were on their way expecting, that there'd be guards in this giant stone. In fact, they were thinking, we're going to have the guards who we don't know and don't trust move the stone that's so heavy so that we can go in and do what we ceremonially do. Well, they show up, but the guards aren't guarding. The giant stone that would require, some say, 10 to 12 people to move, it's moved. These women who are grieving, who are coming to perform the ceremonial part of putting spices on the body, can you imagine what they were thinking? This is the scene for Easter. And what happens next tells the story. When they entered the tomb, they saw a young man clothed in a white robe sitting on the right side. The women were shocked, but the angel said, "Don't be alarmed. You're looking for Jesus of Nazareth, who was crucified." This is important to know because it's an acknowledgement of what really happened. This wasn't fate. He died. He isn't here. He is risen from the dead. Just let it sink in. I know maybe you've heard this story before, but let it sink in. He was dead. He was crucified. He isn't here. He is risen from the dead. Look, this is where they laid his body. This is Easter. This is the moment this is why millions of people gather around and we celebrate. And you and I were watching on all different kinds of devices, and we're like, this is important. And many was like, well, yeah, it's important because Jesus was dead. And now he's alive, and yay, Jesus. That's a big deal, right? Yeah. But do you know why? I mean, what does the resurrection of Jesus mean for me, though, right? If you ever asked that, you ought to. I want you to. It's okay to ask this. Like, what does it mean for me? When Jesus comes back to life, that's cool, that's amazing. Does it mean I join a religion, a social group? What? Why is this so important? Well, track the story a little further. Jesus, he resurrects, he comes back to life, and he doesn't just stay in some isolated, faraway place. Jesus interacts with people, talks with people. There's hundreds upon hundreds of witnesses who have documented this, that he really did come back to life, and he had multiple conversations. In fact, the group, the disciples, you probably have heard of them. Jesus meets with the disciples, and what he says to the disciples after the resurrection, what he says gives us an understanding of, like, what's the big deal about this? What does this mean for me? And if you plug in to what he says to them, this is something you don't just carry on Easter and say, oh, that's special, that's cute. No, what happened on Easter, Jesus is about to give us an understanding of how you walk that everywhere you go. Into every relationship, every scenario, every circumstance, every moment of life. Easter can be plugged in everywhere. Here's what he says to his disciples. Jesus came and told his disciples, I have been given all authority. It's big. I've been given all authority. By where? Well, in heaven and on earth. I've been given all authority. Authority. Like, not some of it, all of it. Coming back to life, beating death, which you and I are like, well, I can't do that. That's one of the inevitables, right, that we talk about in life. He's saying there's authority in this life, in this world. Maybe visually, he's saying there's a throne in this world. In this world, there is someone or something that you're depending on, that you're saying, I'm relying on, I'm going after this. You're saying that person, that thing, that system, that thought gets the throne, the crown. The problem is, lots of people, lots of things are saying, I'm king. I'm in charge. Let's have fun with this. Okay. Burger King. They say they make the best hamburger. I'll reserve judgment for you if you think Burger King is king of hamburgers. Okay, that's you. Dairy Queen. Well, she says that she's got the ice cream market. She's the best, right? And lots of people claim lots of things. Oh, come on. A little confession time. The Tiger King? Huh? Some of you have watched it. Some of you are like, no, we will never watch it. It's popular, and it's brought up that there is this drive that someone thinks, like, I can be in this place of where I'm in full control. I've got it. Let's go more relevant about authority in your life right now. Do you know what corona means? It means crown. I mean, is that not, some might say, ironic? But I think it's even further. I wonder what authority corona has been given. Right now, I would imagine a lot of your life looks different. I mean, just how we are celebrating Easter gives the illusion that the coronavirus is the one in charge, the one who has taken the throne. If your job's been affected, your income, if it's actually affected your health, do you see that you and I find ourselves in a moment in history that perhaps God is not removed from? Corona means crown, and I think it brings up something you and I consistently and constantly battle: control. Who really is in control? I mean, when you and I think about authority, I think a throne, and Easter brings up something we need to deal with. Who have you given? What have you given? I know some of you are going, well, I haven't given anybody. They just took it. Who has this seat in your life? Have you allowed our current circumstances, or maybe it's something different. Maybe it's your spouse. Maybe it is your boss. Maybe it is your kids. Maybe it is your worries and your anxieties. Maybe it's your finances, your bank account, whatever, where you said, you know what, that news, that particular thing, that's what's in control right now. I would be careful with that. See, here's the deal you and I get, is we get to choose who we let sit here. It doesn't change the fact what's true and what's not, but you and I get this free will thing in life where we get to choose, like, you know what, here's who's going to tell me what to do and how I'm going to drive my thoughts and what influences me, who I'm depending on, who's got the throne. Easter brings this up. Jesus brought it up. When he says, I have all authority, he's saying, this is mine. But that doesn't mean you gave it to him. As you process, I hope you're thinking about right now, like, who am I letting control my thoughts? Who am I depending on for my financial well-being, my safety, my provision? Who have I slid over and saying, here, you get it. I give you options. I can tell you that Jesus walked on water. I can tell you that Jesus at one moment took a kid's lunch and said, this is just for a kid, but I can make sure that this lunch can feed thousands of people. Jesus healed people. He took incurable diseases and he laid his hands on them. Sometimes he just spoke it and they would be healed. Jesus did the impossible, the supernatural, the amazing, and then add on to that, Jesus flat out died for you. When you're contemplating who gets authority in your life, who determines, who makes choices for you in the sense of what's your center, what's your core, well, Jesus has done all this amazing things, all these things for you, for me. In fact, I think Easter brings it up. If you've never seen different artists, I mean, just go to Google and you'll find paintings, drawings. You'll even see pictures of scenarios of people have re-exampled the empty tomb. This is powerful if you let it be. The fact that Jesus was put into a tomb, he was dead. And then something like this represents where he leaves the tomb alive. He defies what you and I can't defy. And when you're considering who gets control, can I make a suggestion? If you can do this, you deserve this. If you can defy death, if you can do the supernatural, if you are the authority, the true authority, you deserve this. But I know something about you and I. Just because someone deserves something doesn't mean that we let them sit in that seat. So I'll ask you, who is your king? Again, you get the choice. Who is your king? Do you know the problem? Do you know the problem with a throne? It's designed for one person. Some would say a throne has the seating capacity of one. A crown is only meant to be worn on one head. That's our problem. That's why I say, who is your king? Because it can only be one answer. Do you know that Jesus himself, he addressed an issue. Someone asked him, hey, how do we pray? How do we pray? How do we pray? We don't know how to pray. That he brought up this whole throne, authority thing. Here's how the prayer goes. He says, pray like this: oh, our Father in heaven, may your name be kept holy. May your kingdom come soon. May your kingdom come soon. Have you ever thought about, how do I pray? How do I engage God? He's like, okay, start with this. May your kingdom, not my kingdom, may your kingdom come soon. May your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Have you ever considered that all of life is not designed to be where you've got a throne and it's interchangeable parts, or it's a bench, or it's a stadium that everyone gets a seat at, but you have a throne and you choose who is king. And in the prayer that Jesus gave us, in his life that he exampled, when he walks out of a tomb alive and well, here's what that means: Jesus is king. He's king. But this brings up one of the most difficult parts of life. Jesus is king, but it doesn't mean that's an easy decision to make. I remember when I brought home Hayden, our firstborn, for the first time. Katie and I, we walk out of the hospital, and we've got Hayden in this car seat that looks like 10 times bigger than our little baby, and we put him in the vehicle. We were first-time parents. The nurses walked out with us because probably like, they don't even know what they're doing. This is crazy. We got into the car, and I remember pulling away from the hospital. Because I was afraid. In fact, I was so cautious that when I drove, I probably drove about 10 miles an hour. If you're a parent, I think you get this. This kid was so fragile that I was like, I can't break him. I don't want to break him. So I drove so slow and was cautious. But I was the best driver I have ever been in my life. I love to drive. I like to feel that control. Like I'm in that, but and that was scary as a parent. But I can tell you a scarier moment. My son is now 16. You know where I'm going with this. Not too long ago, he got his permit, and I gave him the keys. I said, all right, man, you drive now. I got in the passenger seat, and if you want to know fear, if you want to know fear, hand the keys over to someone learning to drive. And I don't have a car with an extra set of brake pedals and accelerator and a steering wheel. It's, oh my, we're going onto a highway, and I can't control this. Scary doesn't even communicate it. Sitting in the passenger seat is one of the most difficult things I have ever done as a parent. And it's one of the most difficult things I've ever done in life. You might not find it difficult to let someone else drive. But I bet there's an area in your life where you're thinking, you know what? I want to be in control of that. And the problem is with those kinds of thoughts is oftentimes we find ourselves in situations, circumstances, maybe we call one a pandemic, where you realize, wait a minute, I'm not sure I'm the one who should be sitting in here. Or maybe it's not even what should. It's when you realize you aren't sitting in this. If you want to know what the Easter story is supposed to do in our hearts and our souls, it's supposed to bring up control It's supposed to let you and I know that not only did he beat death, but what does that mean? It means he's king. He should be king. If you're struggling right now with the future, whatever the future holds for you, if you're struggling with what this has done to your routines, rhythms, your plans, your calendar, if you're wondering like what tomorrow looks like, you can't make all of those decisions. We've talked about that. You can't make all of those decisions, but you could today, you can worship, but you could also apply it even further. You could say, you know what, who's going to be in control? Who's going to be king? The guy who could walk out of a tomb. That's who I want. You want to know how to apply this? Here, I'll just give it to you. Here's what we do with Easter. Give Jesus your throne. Stop fighting him on this. I mean, if you're like me, I'll have days like, yes, Easter 2020, yeah, and then tomorrow comes. Then maybe you get laid off. Maybe you get sick. Maybe what you were hoping for that's going to happen, you think it's going to happen, it's far enough down the calendar, it's going to happen, and it gets canceled. You can't control all the things in your life. Some of the greatest wisdom we've ever talked about as a church is you aren't in control. You're in charge of your decisions, but you aren't in control of how everything moves. Give Jesus your throne. In fact, here's what I'd like to do. Some of us are like, I did that when I was a kid, but now I've lived like real life, and some of us never have. And I'd like to pray with you. Here, would you, wherever you are, and I know you might be with people or might be by yourself. Maybe you're at work. I don't know where you're at right now, but would you bow your head and close your eyes? I want to lead you in a time of prayer. I want to pray with you and for you as you begin to process, who does have control in my life? Who's on my throne? And if you're ready to let Jesus be your king, let Jesus sit on the throne. I can lead you in a prayer. It's not magic words, but with your head bowed and your eyes closed. This is all focused right now. Pray this out loud, quietly, whatever you want to do. Jesus, I give you my throne. I know that only one can sit on the throne. I give it to you. Would you forgive me of all my sins, of trying to control? And God, would you fill me with your Spirit and lead me for the rest of my life? I submit to you. I am yours. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen. I want to invite you to respond to this. This doesn't need to stay and shouldn't stay just private. Here's what, if you just prayed that with me, here's what you just did spiritually. You got off the throne and you submitted. It's one of the greatest decisions, if not the greatest decision you ever make in life. And you just did this. You're like, I can't control everything. I want Jesus to be my king. And you submitted. But don't let it just stay in your head in this private thing. In fact, I want to invite you to respond right now. So what we've done, I know this is a little different than what we normally do at Easter, but it's time to respond. If you prayed that prayer with me, I want you to do this right now. If you're able to, in the chat section or the comment section, just type the name Jesus, saying, I prayed that prayer. Just type the name Jesus and just declare it that way, like, Jesus, I made Jesus my king. Just type the name Jesus, but take it one step further, because I want to pray for you. Don't just type the name Jesus. We're going to provide a link for you, decisions.fs.church. If you click that link, if you'll go there and let me have your name, then I can pray for you. Then we as a church can support you as you walk with Jesus. We're not trying to sell you anything. It's not weird, but I invite you to declare that Jesus is your king, but also let us walk life with you. You are better if you have people supporting you in this journey, this relationship with Jesus. I am so proud of you. We as a church refuse to let our circumstances determine who our King is. Jesus is King. And so, as you respond, as we go into some more, we're going to sing and we're going to continue to celebrate this land that we have bowed to the very King. Use this time to, in front of others, for lack of better words, declare that Jesus is your King.
Are you hurting and broken within? Overwhelmed by the weight of your sin? Jesus is calling. Have you come to the end of yourself? Do you thirst for a drink from the well? Jesus is calling. Oh, come to the altar. The Father's arms are open wide. Forgiveness was bought with the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Leave behind your regrets and mistakes. Come today, there's no reason to wait. Jesus is calling. Bring your sorrows and trade them for joy. From the ashes, a new life is born. Jesus is calling. Oh, come to the altar. The Father's arms are open wide. Forgiveness was bought with the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Oh, come to the altar. The Father's arms are open wide. Forgiveness was bought with the precious blood of Jesus Christ. Oh, what a Savior! Isn't He wonderful? Sing hallelujah! Christ is risen. Bow down before Him, for He is Lord of all. Sing hallelujah, Christ is risen. Oh, what a Savior! Isn't He wonderful? Sing hallelujah, Christ is risen. Bow down before Him, for He is Lord of all. Sing hallelujah, Christ is risen. Oh, come to the altar. The Father's arms are open wide. Forgiveness cross as you wait for the crown. Tell the world of the treasure you found.
What an incredible service. Seeing the decisions come in and seeing God move in the midst of these online services keeps reminding me that God can turn any difficult situation into an awe-inspiring moment for us. If you were one that made a decision today, we are so excited and celebrate with you. We want to help guide you to a meaningful relationship with Jesus. So we have some next steps for you, and we'd love to send them to you. If you haven't already, go to decisions.fs.church and fill out some basic info so we can connect with you. If you made that decision today to make Jesus your King, we want to give you a coin with a crown on it as an emblem to mark this day in your life. This coin is simple but powerful because it is something that you can take with you as a reminder for what happened here today. If you filled out your information indicating you made Jesus King, we'll connect with you this week and give you all the information you need to make sure you can pick one up. Now for the rest of us, I invite you, connect with us. Go to connect.fs.church to get in touch. We believe life is better when we do it together. So join in this movement that God is leading us. And church, I hope that the rest of your day and week is amazing as we keep celebrating our King. Please join us next week as we dive into a new series all about the 6 essential things we need to thrive in our current situation. We love you, church, and we'll see you next week.
Digital and consistent giving has never been easier. It's as easy as sending a text from your phone. Simply pull out your phone and text the word GIVE to 605-299-8374. It's as simple as that. Thanks for helping us make a lasting impact in the Black Hills. Here at Fountain Springs, we believe in the next generation. We want you to know that we've made it easy for your kids to engage in a service that meets them at their level. There are 3 easy steps to take to access these services. Step 1, download our app. Launch your preferred app store and search for Fountain Springs Church. Step 2, once you find it, download and open the app. Step 3, on the front page you will see an icon titled Kids Services. Just touch that image and pick the service for your appropriate age group. We have a service designed for preschool kids and a service designed for elementary kids. It's as easy as that. We hope your kids enjoy.